For in 6 days the Lord made the heavens and the earth, the sea, and all that is in them, and rested the seventh day. Several years ago, I listened to an evolutionary sympathizing radio evangelist emphatically and repeatedly stress that Exodus 20:11 doesn't mean that God created the universe and everything in it in 6 days. Instead, God supposedly fashioned or remade the universe in 6 days after an original creation billions of years earlier. Allegedly, between the time God created the world in Genesis 1:1 and made or recreated the world in the following 6-day creation in verses 3 and following, billions of years of time transpired in which evolution supposedly took place. This gentleman I listened to based his entire argument about Exodus 20:11 on the belief that to create from the Hebrew bara and to make from the Hebrew asah always mean two different things in relation to God's creative acts. The problem with this theory, commonly known as the gap theory, is that the inspired commentary God has given us throughout the Old Testament concerning the events recorded in Genesis 1 reveal that the words create from bara and make or made from asah are used interchangeably in reference to the creation of the universe and everything in it. Since Exodus 20:11 is referring to the events that took place in Genesis, it seems quite appropriate to revisit the book of beginnings to see how these two words are used in reference to what took place during the creation. In Genesis 1 and also in Genesis chapter 2, bara and asah are used several times in reference to God's work. Interestingly, they never stand at odds with one another. They teach one central truth, that God created or made the universe and everything in it in 6 days. For example, on day 5, God created great sea creatures and every living thing that moves, while on day 6, God made the beast of the earth according to its kind. On day 6 of creation, God said, "Let us make man in our image according to our likeness." Then we are told in the very next verse that He created man in His own image. When Moses commented on this day of creation in Genesis chapter 5, verses 1 and 2, he again used these words interchangeably. In the day that God created man, He made him in the likeness of God. He created them, male and female. In Genesis chapter 2 and verse 4, Moses summarized the events of creation, stating, "This is the history of the heavens and the earth when they were created in the day that the Lord God made the earth and the heavens." The phrases, "the heavens and the earth were created," and "God made the earth and the heavens," parallel each other. They are two ways of saying the same thing. Notice also the prophet Isaiah's use of 4 different terms, including bara and asah, to refer to God's work at creation. For thus says the Lord, who created the heavens, who is God, who formed the earth and made it, who has established it, who did not create it in vain, who formed it to be inhabited. I am the Lord, and there is no other. Did God intend to communicate a different message every time He used different words to describe something? Not according to His inspired commentary. Just as you may tell one person, "I mowed the yard," you may mention to someone else that "I cut the grass." You have spoken one truth, even though you use 2 different phrases. Though the term asah has a broader semantic range than bara and may not always be synonymous, the fact is, as Hebrew scholar Dr. Justin Rogers concluded, as any careful reader of the Bible will observe, the Hebrew language does not make a sharp distinction between bara and asah in accounts depicting the creation. On the contrary, the terms are used interchangeably for creation throughout the Old Testament and can often be found in parallel expressions. Those who contend that the Hebrew words bara and asah must have 2 different meanings when referring to God's creative acts in the beginning, and who allege that Exodus 20:11 and other verses refer to a recreation of earth and everything on it, are not logically and fairly interpreting the Bible. Rather than respectfully allowing God's Word to explain itself, it seems they've chosen to use the latest theories in old earth evolutionary science to manipulate the Scriptures to their liking.